Hi, it's Bill the Handyman up here in Northern California. Today we're looking at a Kenmore, and so a couple of things we want to check here. This door, it doesn't have any slop when you lift it up. There's no slop in the hinge, so that's a good sign right there. The boot is a little bit moldy, and this comes because basically it's closed up all the time. If you leave the door open part way, somehow it will not form this mold as easily. The mold is actually down here too, which is pretty bad, but it's completely functional. It's got a good basket because I don't hear any slop in the basket when it turns. I can't lift up on the basket and feel any play in the bearing, so that's a good sign. So what the problem was is this one was not spinning out. So it would spin, but the water was not going out fast enough, and so it would shut down the spin basically. So we'll take a look. Okay, so we got the back panel off. There are basically about 6 little of these Phillips screws that hold this back panel on. And you can see the water pump here. I've already disconnected it here. One thing you can do to check this is, wipe it off. But you can actually blow in this and make sure that it's not plugged. And this one's not plugged, so you can check the water pump here. This is it's a 110 water pump, and actually a friend of mine has just like a plug like this that he has directly wired into 110 to test these water pumps. He'll have the plug directly plugged into the wall, and then he'll plug it in here and test the pump separately to isolate it to make sure that the pump is working correctly. So this pump, as you can see, it's held down by two bolts here, and these see, it's Phillips is what it is, and it also you can also take it off with a nut driver. Okay, so we got the pump loose. Let's take a look at it. So this is the one-way valve here, so it doesn't backflow into the wash. That looks good. A little dirty, but it's usable. And we look at the impellers in here. So the impellers look like they're in good shape. And so basically it's kind of like a computer fan. It's got it's a magnetic motor basically, and you'll feel that as you spin this fan around, it'll grab the magnet each time you sort of go a quarter spin on it, and it's not sloppy. The inside of it, the impeller is not sloppy on the motor shaft. That looks good. And so the pump seems to be working fine. It was a little bit noisy, and I've actually seen these pumps seem to work fine, but actuality they don't pump out very well. So I had to change the pump out, and it looked perfectly fine, and all the lines were clear. So there was only one thing left to do, is put another pump in it, and it worked. So sometimes these can look good and then not be very good. So, but this one looks good. We're going to run a load of clothes through it here in a minute and see how it pumps up. So this sort of P-trap thing here actually has a filter inside of it, and you can see there's something in there. It looks like a balloon or something, a pink balloon. So we're gonna have to take this apart and then clean out this little filter in here. and that will probably solve the problem. Okay, so we took the clamps off, we got the pump out. And it looks like this thing is a garbage disposal. Man, that thing is completely plugged up. Completely plugged up. So I'm going to take this over by the garden hose and wash her out. Yeah, there's a little filter in there. It's got tons of debris in here. Yeah. Okay, we just need to wash it out. We got pretty much cleaned out here. We got just a ton of stuff. We got 50, 60, 75, what is it? 80 cents, man. And man, this is a piece of clothing. That is a belt, part of a whatever clip, belt clip or something. And if your clothes are falling apart or your towels are shredded, do not put them in the washer or you'll be asking for problems. Looks like they had an animal too, because there's animal hair. There's plastic wrappers. This could be somebody's drugs. Could be. Not for me. Here's one of those hair ribbon or hair ties. Who knows? Bingo. Tiddlywinks, anyone? Okay, so we also want to check the drain on the bottom of the barrel. So right here, we need to make sure that there's nothing in here obstructing it. And then sometimes if you lose coins or something, you can fish them out through this hole. I've actually done this before where something was inside there and I would gently turn the machine on its side and then fish around in here, and you know, like bra stays and bobby pins and stuff would come out. So yeah, another thing to check. Okay, so we got everything pretty much cleaned out, and so in order to put this filter back in, you have to sort of stretch this thing out so that this little edge here goes underneath and sits down on the bottom of this thing. Just sort of push it, stretch it, and push it down there, and that's how you get it out too. Basically stretch it so it sort of opens up and just push it down there, and then put her back on and we're good to go. Yahoo! So if this video helped you, please send me a donation to Bill's Enterprises, P.O. Box 7021, Eureka, California 95502. And if you're interested in my how to make money in the appliance business, you can contact me as well. I have a course that includes a link to over 100 repair videos, and I give you a year of coaching along with the course. And so, yeah, thanks for watching. Hope this helped. So when you're putting this boot back on, what you want to do is, ideally, you get a regular hose clamp, but that clamp there, that's regular, I mean, the kind of hose clamps that screw. This is a whatever press clamp. The screw ones are a little bit easier to deal with. But anyway, when you're putting this thing back on in here, under here, basically you want to hook this thing on first. Get it lined up, it's kind of straight up and down. Then hook this thing on first, and then hook this other thing, the main, on second.